I've noticed recently that these days when people say, shut up, they don't really mean for you to shut up. Sometimes they mean, I really like what you're saying. Continue, say more. And sometimes, of course, they mean shut up. But in the past, that wasn't the case. When people said shut up, they meant shut up. Just shut up. Don't open your mouth. And that brings me to the story of Mr. and Mrs. Geese. Mr. and Mrs. Geese like to travel a lot. Of course, in the proper season, going to the more pleasant area. And this time, as they arrived, they kind of went around the swamp and landed right in a beautiful area. And it happens to be the area where Mr. Turtle lived. They made really good friends, and during this season, they had a lot of fun together. Went around and did things, and this was really nice. They all enjoyed it. But the season passed, and Mr. and Mrs. Geese had to leave. So they went to bid Mr. Turtle goodbye. When they went over there and told him that they're leaving, he was very sad, and he said, take me with you. I'm old. I like to go to more pleasant areas too, and I like you. I've made very good friends with you. Take me with you. They said, but you can't fly. He said, I'll get on the top of one of you and we can fly. And as he finished, he said, but I may slip and fall. That may not work out for me real well, would it? And Mr. and Mrs. Geese started talking to each other a little bit more quietly. And then Mr. Geese goes and picks up a stick. And Mrs. Geese goes to Mr. Turtle and says, Mr. Turtle, can you keep your mouth shut for a long time? He said, yes. Mr. Geese comes forward with the stick in his hand and says, I mean, for a long time, and don't open your mouth at all when I say just shut up, nothing. Don't open your mouth. Can you do that? Mr. Turtle looked at the stick and said, yes, I can. He said, then open your mouth and put this in your mouth and bite into it and shut up. Don't open your mouth at all. Mr. Turtle said, went like that. So, Mr. and Mrs. Geese took the two ends of the stick and became airborne. As they were going over the swamp, the rest of the animals started crying out, oh, Mr. Turtle is hijacked by Mr. and Mrs. Geese. And they kept making a huge commotion. And Mr. Turtle was very upset about that. And he said, no, I am not being hijacked. As he was falling down thinking, I should have kept my mouth shut. What do you think? Here is to here, and here is to now.